TNA Against All Odds happened last night. I've just finished work, still quite dirty, I've not had a shower, just threw a clean t-shirt on so you don't see my work t-shirt, don't know why, a bit weird. So normally I'd write down everything that I remembered during it, but I thought what I'd do is to see what I can get from memory, because TNA, it's still quite new to me. I've always known of it, I've watched clips and bits and parts, but this is the first time I'm watching it fully for a while, so I want to see where I get to. The first match was Steve Macklin versus Mance Warner with Steph DeLander. See, I'm still remembering things, for the International Championship. Steve Macklin was your champion, and he still is your champion. Steve Macklin won that match, which basically I predicted correctly. I didn't think it was the time for anybody to be winning that yet, considering he's the inaugural champion. But all in all, a good match. Obviously, Steph DeLander gets involved in some way. Ref doesn't see it. Obviously, so you think that Mance Warner could actually win. I'm thinking that these names are actually correct. I know they're probably wrong, but we know exactly who I mean. But Steve Macklin ends up hitting the KIA. Obviously, killed in action, I think. Something very similar to that name. Obviously, picks up the win, and then obviously that's where we go. Now, these matches might not be in the correct order, but I'm going to try and remember every single match. This match wasn't announced, but I did guess it on my prediction show. Well, technically, I guess I get predicted half of it. I say show, but it's more like a video, isn't it? So I predicted that we'd get the Hardys versus the System. Now, we did get the Hardys versus the System, but it was an 8-man tag. So we had the Hardys and Matt and Jeff, okay? And we also got Leon Slater, just like Jeff Hardy, and we got the Hometown Man. His entrance music actually made me laugh out loud. It was great. He's the Hometown Man. It's brilliant. I'm still wondering who he is, though. Versus the System, we've got Moose, Brian Myers, Eddie Edwards, and JDC. I was going to try and remember the name of their manager. Nope. You have to put down in the comments what her name is again. I've completely forgot what her name is. I'm thinking Izzy Dane, but is that somebody else? So I do apologise for that. But I predicted the Hardys were going to win. The Hardys did win. But what I don't like is Leon Slater pinning Moose. I understand Moose wants to be the longest reigning X Division champion, and he's in 3rd place now. Austin Aries is first for 290 days, and I don't know who's second. But then Leon Slater wants to be the youngest X Division champion. But it seems to me that Moose always gets pinned when it's a non-title match. Is that the character he's building around or something like that? To me, what would have been better is if the Hometown Man defeated Moose. I don't know why, but it just, to me, would have made a lot more sense, even though it still would have been Moose getting pinned. And so what's this going to lead to? Leon Slater's going to get an X Division title and he's going to lose? Well, an X Division title match and then he's going to lose that? Yeah, I don't understand, honestly. We also had Mustafa Ali versus Jason Hotch. What's their group called? Is it the Core 4? No, that's off Scream, isn't it? Scream 5 and 6. The Forticore? The Quarter 4? I don't understand. But anyway, it was them two in a match because Mustafa Ali decided to put his hands on, is it Tasha Steele? See, I'm learning these things. So obviously he got into his face, all this other stuff, you know, it all works. Tasha Steele walks off during the match. So this is how we run the match now, we are, sorry. Okay, walks off during the match. So obviously Mustafa Ali and Jason Hotch. Okay, obviously going back and forth. I thought it was literally just going to be a quick squash sort of match. But Mustafa Ali ends up hitting a 450. Hey, goes for the pin. He could have won. Lifts him up. Right. Jason Hotch's partner, forgot his name, comes into the ring to try and help him. See, there's no line on this channel. Or is there? And then obviously Mustafa Ali goes for another 450, but Jason gets his knees up and was like, oh, that's interesting. Then he just loses to him for 450 anyway. Yeah, it was a good back and forth match, and it's actually quite interesting to see Jason actually maybe picking up the win, but I probably would have predicted Mustafa Ali to win this, but because I never did, I can't clarify that, can I? So, yeah. Well, definitely a fun match though. There was a nasty spot where he got hit his back on the when Jason hit his back on the apron. I think it was from a German suplex. Then we got the First Class Penthouse with AJ Francis and Casey Navarro. Special guest Mike Santana. They came out, started talking bad as to why they helped Trick retain his title against Mike Santana. Just the usual heel crap, you know, it all works. Mike Santana comes out. Obviously, AJ Francis runs off. Casey Navarro is left on his own. He gets put through a table. Then AJ Francis comes back out. Champagne bottle smashed to the back of the head. Mike Santana obviously later on needs to have maybe stitches or something like that, but obviously he gets annoyed at the doctors. The doctors try and help him. He doesn't want to help because he's Mike Santana. You know, it all works. Because for some reason, if you get stitches, you're weak. Then we got quite an impressive match, if you ask me. We had the TNA Knockouts Championship. So the TNA Knockouts champion being Masha Slamovich taking on Lei Ying Li. This is I won't say my first encounter with Lei Ying Li, but maybe one-on-one from what I remember. And maybe like what, she's like 5'3", and she had Masha on a shoulder, like backwards though, so her face is up there, and just walks up the stairs like it's nothing. Right. Just a good back and forth match. In the end, Masha Slamovich picked up the victory with her pile driver finisher thing. I forgot what it's called now. And then we had Killer Kelly come out, whoever the hell she is. Apparently she was Masha Slamovich's old partner. I originally thought it was a boogeyman, but it wasn't. She came out to the ring, looked her in the face, and then just left. I was like, kind of seems pointless. But I suppose there's no point sending a text if it's just going to be blank, isn't it? Or just ringing somebody's been saying nothing. Like, why are you there? I understand you want to challenge for the title, that makes a lot of sense. But she technically didn't say it. Maybe she just needed a lift home. But then while she's there, she needed a lift home. I don't know. Strange. So that's going to be Masha Slamovich's next opponent, which will probably be Slammiversary. So it'll be Masha Slamovich versus Killer Kelly, again, well, at Slammiversary. And then when Masha Slamovich wins that, we'll probably have the return of somebody else. Two other people returned as well, a tag team, but I forgot what they were called. Something with the letter I. Is it Intelligence? Intelligent? I don't know. Somebody. There's another thing came out in the comments. We're learning here. Then we go on to Joe Hendry versus Frankie Kazarian. Though this was interesting because I predicted that Joe would win, but if Frankie did win, Joe's going to go on a losing streak. So with them going backwards and forwards, obviously it started off with Joe attacking Frankie because he was really annoyed. Joe had an injured leg, so you got Frankie basically doing like ankle locks, working on the leg, but he wins with a roll up and his feet were on the ropes. So obviously Joe was annoyed, but I don't really want to see this, but I can see Joe getting really annoyed to the point where he attacks Elijah, because everyone was expecting Elijah to attack Joe, obviously with the guitar, but maybe this is the counter, twist. But I hope I'm wrong on that one. This next match, I'm so glad I got it wrong. Robert Stone versus Santino Marella with the random special guest referee of Matt Cardona. Why? Why? Did I miss something? So obviously you had Robert Stone trying to cheat as much as he can, try to pay off Matt Cardona. Didn't really work. Santino picks up the win with the Cobra, which was fantastic. So it's great to see him say that as the TNA Director of Authority. That's so hard to say for me. But yeah, it was just fun to see Santino wrestling. It wasn't a good match. Santino hardly wrestles anymore, but it's just fun when he does. Robert Stone's first match in TNA in like 8 years, they said. You had Ariana Grace helping Santino. You had, not Alicia Fox, what's her name these days? Victoria Crawford helping Robert Stone and somebody else, but I forgot who that was. I'm doing okay with names. So I think that was the only prediction I got wrong, I think. But I'm glad I did get it wrong. Then we had the Nemeth brothers versus the Rascals. The impressive part to me was Nick Nemeth kicking out of the Rascals finisher, where they do the double knee thing and then like senton, swanton dive thing. But yeah, just a fun tag team match. I wasn't expecting the Rascals to win, but if they did, it wouldn't have surprised me. There's not really a lot to say about it. I'm wondering where it goes now. Do the Hardys get back into the picture? But how long have the Hardys actually got left? What other tag teams could go against the Nemeths? Because like the System, their heels. The Rascals have just had their chance. Leon Slater is with the Hardy, but he's going off and doing the X Division sort of situation. So maybe you have like the return of a tag team. Or do we get a tag team from NXT to take the TNA tag team titles? Because NXT has also got the TNA world title. So are we going to be just like collecting them? Strange. We'll see. Maybe the Nemeth brothers go to NXT and take their titles. Anything's possible, but I don't really see that. No, I do see that actually because they are heels. That makes a lot of sense. Then we go on to the main event. I wasn't expecting Elijah to win. I was expecting Trick to win. But what I was not expecting is AJ Francis to make his way to the ring. Elijah obviously tries to take him out because you got AJ Francis trying to trip. Well, he didn't try. He tripped up Elijah. Turnbuckle gets exposed. Trick tries to win with a title shot, I think. I'm making that up, I can't remember. I'm pretty sure I saw that. He still kicks out. Then he goes for a trick shot, misses. Elijah ends up going into the exposed turnbuckle and hits another trick shot for the win, which is fine. I expected Trick to win because it makes no sense for him to lose this soon after having such a big movement in the wrestling business or organisation, as you want to call it, or whatever. But why is AJ Francis there? Is he working with Trick Williams for a reason? Is Trick paying him? Does he not want TNA to have the world champion? Is he going to have a title match against Trick Williams? Is he going to go back to WWE and get banned from diving again? I don't know. But all in all, this to me seems like the start of a lot of things that are going on. Obviously, like TNA being like Trick Williams is the world champion of the first pay-per-view. Joe Hendry, I think, is going to go on some sort of losing streak. What happens to the tag team titles now? You've got Masha Slamovich versus Killer Kelly. I'm talking like I know who she is. You've got another tag team of two blonde people. I forgot their names. Where do we go with this? We've got Moose and we've also got Leon Slater. But yeah, so a lot of questions. All in all, like, not a bad show. I think my camera's wonky, I've just realised. But there you go, that's better for you. Either way, not a bad show. If you haven't watched it, definitely worth a watch if you've got the time. If you haven't got the time, don't watch it. If you don't like TNA, why are you watching this video? I'm going to end it there. Please like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching.